You know, I've never seen a company so far up its own rear end more than I've ever seen with PlayStation. It's actually insane when you really think about it. What I'm talking about goes so far beyond just actual ownership of video games. What I'm talking about today is literally the fact that PlayStation spent 30 actual days saying nothing across the board to you as a customer, to you as the person whose money they're trying to get every single time with every game release. Yet all we saw on the back end for an entire month was actual silence, and literally watching as this company is going to make massive ripples in the gaming space, while every other company as well will begin to fall in line and follow suit of you no longer owning anything in video games. And if you don't believe me that they copy each other, well look, Nintendo introduced the $80 video game with Mario Kart World. What happened a little bit later? Boom! Xbox wants to do $80 video games until they had the backlash for that too. Then you had Nintendo bring out variable rate pricing, where specific games will then cost more money simply because of the actual game itself and the nostalgia factor and bait that you're going to be applied to. What did PlayStation do? They brought out variable rate pricing for their own storefront on top of it. Literally walking around and showing you a different price on the storefront, and then when you log in, you get a higher price overall depending upon your buying tendencies. Isn't that a whole bunch of fun? And on and on and on, as this industry does everything they can to copy each other from every other company on these small anti-customer practices that these companies want to keep pushing onto you. And PlayStation's was in fact the worst one. Like we said before, July 1st, 2026 was the day that everybody realized you don't own your video games, after PlayStation announced in 2028 no more physical games for anything moving forward. And then after an entire month of community notes, fan backlash, petition signings, everything you could imagine, it turns out we finally got a response. And it's exactly what PlayStation has been dying to say. Because according to IGN saying, Sony's controversial decision to discontinue PlayStation discs is not having any impact on its business now, and it doesn't see any negative impact in the future either. Brother, they are telling you to your face what you say online does not matter. They are telling you to your face, cancel PSN. You're literally irrelevant. They are relying 100% on the ball and gun gamer, going on and spending all that money on microtransactions and skins for their video games. They don't care about their IP. They don't care about their games. All they care about is how do we monetize every single person even harder inside of our own ecosystem. And telling you to your face, all your screaming, all your crying, all your bitching is worth nothing, as it has zero impact on our business. But there's even more that PlayStation said as well. So let's see what the article actually posted and go from there. With IGN saying, speaking during an investor-focused Q&A following its first quarter financial results, Sony CFO Lin Tao answered multiple questions about the company's decision to kill discs, which has sparked a backlash online. Tao stated, quote, "We are not seeing any impact on our business as of now. Going forward about the content sales, large part is already digitized. Therefore, as a result of the discontinuation of a disc, we don't see that there will be any negative impact on our business." However, as I already said, the users, the players have attachments, and we have to think about how to respond to those feedbacks. I'm sorry, this has to be the most insane thing I've ever actually seen. On one hand, literally Lin Tao says, hey, you're crying online, you're bitching, you're complaining, you're community noting, everything you've done has had zero impact on our business. You're literally nothing to us. Go ahead, cancel PSN, don't buy PS6. We have millions of sheeps ready to go out and spend money on our platform, even though you don't have any ownership anymore. But don't worry, we still have to listen to your feedback apparently. Oh, they're gonna listen, all right. They've been listening for an entire month and they told you to your face, piss off. If you feel like this company is putting you up a creek without a paddle, if they're giving you all the runaround and not providing you anything of what you want, which is ownership, which is exactly the idea of what we're talking about when they're asking for $70 to $80 for a video game, then you should take your bags, take your money, and leave to somewhere else. Go to Xbox, go to Nintendo, go to PC. It doesn't really matter anymore because this company does not give a about you at all. In fact, they never have. The entire posturing, the overindulgence of themselves, using the PS4 generation as a way to be like, we're for the gamers. We're here for you guys. You want to know how to share your game? This is how you do it. You just give it to them. Taking an actual stab at Microsoft the entire time during one of the worst decisions they could make with DRM. Yet we're sitting here watching as PlayStation is doing the exact playbook that Microsoft wanted to do from that exact time. Provide literally zero value to you as an actual customer. But in fact, it gets worse. No, I'm not kidding. She kept talking. With VGC posting, quote, "We're going to cautiously move this forward. Sony says it hears the PlayStation disc backlash, but will continue its plans." CFO Lin Tao said its focus was on trying to, quote, "engage the gamers in the future digital ecosystem." With Lin Tao saying, quote, "We announced that from January 2028 onwards, we will no longer be manufacturing game discs. So we announced it 1.5 years ahead," she said, via Sony's interpreter. "There are various reasons we made this decision, the biggest being that the digitization of contents overall has been progressing. That's the big factor. It's not just for PlayStation, but for all kinds of content. Digitization is progressing." Games are loved by many people. It's a form of entertainment that's loved by people, and it's connected to the people's fond memories in many cases. And so we understand those emotions. We want to consider that. And in the future digital ecosystem, how do we engage the gamers is something that we would like to continue to explore. How do you engage the gamers? Are you out of your mind? What is happening in this space right now? We have the CFO of Sony and PlayStation telling you to your face, you don't matter. Your entire little charade online has zero impact on the business. But also, we really thought cautiously and hard about this decision. And we thought, yeah, losing 30% on every sale really wasn't enough for us. Variable rate pricing, that's still not enough for us. Charging you more money? Still not enough for us. Losing 30% of all sales on Steam? Yeah, we're not going to have that either. Oh, going around and making sure that everybody has to buy games on our storefront, period, point blank, with no one else ever? Yeah, we really thought about that decision and wanted to make sure that we want 100% of all the money ever being spent on our storefront, period, point blank, ever again. This is actually one of the most insane, short-sighted decisions I've ever seen a company ever do. Literally admitting they're going to monetize their users to hell and back because of the RAM crisis. And then have the audacity and the stones to say, how do we engage gamers? You know how you engage gamers? You give them a proper refund policy. You don't put them through 14 days of DRM hoops to own a digital license. You don't have their games not work when PSN goes down. And you damn sure make sure that whenever somebody buys a product on your storefront, they actually own it, whether it's digital or physical. The thing is, you don't have any of those things in place right now. And everything is going to fall apart as your entire storefront becomes nothing more than a massive monopoly. You're basically trying to be exactly what everybody blames Steam for being. And the funniest part is the numbers that made PlayStation come to this decision. Again, this was after 30 days of total silence. And they didn't talk to you, the customer. They talked to their shareholders and told them this instead. But I think the funnier part is going to be the fact they're still going to be shipping physical boxes to stores. No, I'm not kidding. Because also, according to VGC, Sony says it's been talking to retailers about its disc-free future in an attempt to find a, quote, win-win solution. It suggests North American stores may still sell a code in a box after the discs end. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to cancel all the physical discs for video games in 2028. Awesome. We're going to make all the money, but all the retailers are mad at us. What do we do now? I got an idea. Let's ship the actual box with a code in it. That way they have to buy it at the storefront, but they also have to use our PSN. That way they're stuck in our own store. Yeah, that's genius. Except You're manufacturing the box. You're making the plastic. You're molding it. You're printing a piece of paper with the code of the video game in the box. If you're 80% of the way there, why not just, I don't know, ship the video game disc in the box too? But when you find out how they got to this point, it gets even funnier with all the lies that PlayStation has been feeding you. Because according to GameSpot on Twitter posting, Sony's latest PS5 sales data shows digital pulling even further ahead, with the post getting a community note stating, misleading. Sony's reported digital sales include more than game purchases. Its digital software sales include full games, DLC, expansions, in-game currency, and items, while the full game digital downloaded ratio is reported separately, so 82% does not equal 82% of game copies sold. My brother in Christ, they're literally fudging the numbers to make you believe as if physical media is not important enough. This same company that has been going around and still printing music CDs, still printing Blu-ray DVDs for movies, and also making a goddamn vinyl record player because vinyl is on a comeback. But you can't have physical video games, boys. The digitization of the world is just being all digital. You're going to own nothing and pretend to be happy. Even though everybody else in every other hobby gets their stuff physically, you in the gaming space? No, buddy. You're stuck like Chuck. Way to go. And no amount of crying, complaining, community noting, posting, putting F Sony, hashtag not buying PS6, hashtag no disc, no buy, all of that stuff that we all worked for, that we all showed the PlayStation, you are barking up the wrong tree, it all fell on deaf ears because, again, this company does not care about you as a customer. They only care about the money you're willing to give them. And they feel that the ball and gun gamers are going to be enough of a way to actually have you be irrelevant, that you don't matter, that your money isn't good enough anymore, apparently. Well, you know what? Here's my thing. If your money's not good enough for PlayStation because they don't want to give you ownership, put your money where it's going to be best deserved. Because if you're going to go all digital, you might as well go on PC. You might as well have the ability to buy games on GOG. You might as well have the ability to get games on Steam and have actual refunds. You might as well have the ability to sail the 7 seas and try games out without having to buy them all the time. And that's what Sony doesn't want you to do. They think you're good enough little sheep to stay exactly where you are. And they want to keep you in that spot so that way you keep giving them your money. Even though they just told you that your money isn't even good enough anymore because they don't even care about you if you're going to get mad about not having a physical disc. Because, of course, everything is digitized now. Even though they're going to sell a goddamn plastic box in a storefront that's going to be empty with a piece of paper, but they just don't want to put the fucking disc in the box either way. Because they just want control. And baby, they're doing everything they can to get it. With PC Gamer posting, Sony exec says killing discs won't make the PlayStation 6 too much like a PC. With Lin Tao saying, quote, "Our strength is the curated contents. That's one of our strengths. The game environment being stable. That's another strength. Compared to high-end gaming PC, our product is more affordable," Tao said. Stop right there. No, it's not. It's $900 for a PS5 Pro. Without the disc tray that's going to be irrelevant. And without the stand. And without paying for Wi-Fi. At that price point, you're well over $1,000. Into the $1,200 territory as well. You might as well get yourself a PC for that price and get a better experience and own your digital games, Lin Tao. That's the difference. But let's keep going. We don't feel that the disc itself is a strong enough factor for differentiation. Going forward, we can coexist peacefully with PC gamers. Coexist peacefully? You dummies, you idiots pulled off all your new games coming to the PC platform. You then went ahead and locked your games behind DRM. You then went all digital. Why would anybody spend close to $1,000 on your storefront, on your platform, when they actually get less and they can spend a little bit more and keep everything digital on their actual own and truly own their digital video games? Unlike what you guys are doing. No refund policy, no ability to actually help the customer, and then talking about how customers feel, even though you're telling them to their faces their money isn't worth shit to you. This level of hubris, this level of insane behavior truly knows no bounds inside of any corporate entity. It's actually wild to me that a company would take this much of a risk, this much of a shot in the dark, and truly believe that they're going to be in the right. It's almost like, again, like I said before, they just copied the Xbox One playbook, but they did it 20 years too late. This whole thing is a farce and sham, a scam, if you will, as this company is going around and betting you're not going to be man enough or have the spine enough to go through and not buy any of their consoles, not buy any of their games, as if you're not going to cancel PSN or PS Plus, whatever the hell they want to call it now anyways, as they're giving you nothing every single time, yet expecting you to pay more for getting less in every single aspect. As they raise the price of games, raise the price of consoles, they're going to raise the price of the PS6. They're going to give you a code in the box and then raise the price of everything too. And then when you're stuck on their network and everything goes down and you can't play shit, you're still stuck because they want to make sure that they're the ones in control, that they're the ones pulling all the levers, that you can't go anywhere because you have a sunk cost fallacy of a digital library inside of their own space. And then they're going to use their little exclusives to go ahead and parade you around as if that's going to be enough. Oh yeah, the 3 to 4 games are going to get the entire next generation of PS6. That's going to be enough to keep people around paying over $1,000 for a console? I don't think so, Tim. And what's funny is I'm not the only one who's angry as well. Check this out. According to JV in the house saying this, I hope the PlayStation 6 is a bigger flop than the Wii U, so these will finally learn. Here's Mighty Gazelle on Twitter posting, since PS6 is going to be all digital, just get a PC. Both will be expensive as but you don't need to pay to play online on PC. Game discounts are way better, far more options, and can even run even better if you've got the hardware. Let PlayStation have a Wii U generation. And finally, Carrie Galam posting, never forget that Xbox actually changed course in 2013 due to fan backlash. PlayStation weaponized physical and put their fans to work. And in the end, Sony told those same fans to pound salt. If you still buy PlayStation, you have no one to blame but yourself. And Carrie and everybody else that we saw just recently are completely 100% correct. The only thing that PlayStation and Sony are ever going to learn is if PS6 in fact bombs. And personally, I think Sony and PlayStation need to be humbled. You see, ever since the PS4 gen, they've been riding high. They were all like, oh, we got the cinematic third-person stealth movie games everybody loves. We're the best, baby. We showed Xbox how to share your games. Haha, we're #1. And they took that high and they rode that into PS5 gen. Because right now, what do they've got? Nothing. They got no games, and all they got are just nothing more than console sales. 90 million sold to play what? The same 5 live service games everybody else plays every single month that's posted by Circana? You guys are doing a great job over there, buddy. Let me tell you. Yeah, Soros took the world by storm now, didn't it? Everybody bought that. Oh, no, wait. That's a rough one to deal with, my boys, I bet. Yeah, I know. Exclusives, the most important thing, am I right? Yeah, that's why they're keeping you in that line. They're going to keep parading around those little titles here and there to keep you involved in their storefront as you go to the store itself and you buy a code in a box and they're looking at you like a clown because they got you hook, line, and sinker every time. What PlayStation needs is in fact their Wii U moment. They need to be humbled more than anybody else right now. And in my opinion, if the PS6 is in fact going to be into the $1,000 territory, you may as well get yourself a PC instead, because at least in that space, you'll own your goddamn digital games too. Oh, and don't worry, by the way, because PS5 emulation is really kicking into high gear. Check this out. Tom's Hardware on Twitter posted, the PS5 emulation hits new milestone in record time. Multiple 3D games now playable in Kaitai. Performance and support steadily improving, with 30 FPS gameplay possible today. And that is what this company never realized, never understood. The same company that made one of the worst DRMs that PC's ever dealt with Securom next to Denuvo is the same company not understanding that at some point every game will be on the PC platform. You may think your PlayStation 6 being all digital separates it from PC. Yeah, it totally does, because you don't have other storefronts. You don't have other games. You're stuck on that DRM and you're stuck on that platform. You can't go anywhere else and get your games anywhere else or even own your games anywhere else. On PC, we'll get those games. Sooner or later, we'll get them. And those emulators are being made not out of necessity, but out of spite. And that's going to make things run even faster. You think people care about money? No. They care about sending a message. And I feel like the message is going to be sent very clear to PlayStation, because I feel like many people are going to do exactly what they did to Xbox during the Xbox One gen. Jump ship to another platform that respects them, another platform where they'll actually buy their games and own them, another platform that doesn't see them as actual sheep to be cattled around and pulled apart and then gone through and had their wallets milked completely dry without even so much as a glance back or even a thank you, sir, can I have another? The fact that on Friday on the afternoon is when we got the information about what PlayStation breaking their silence is insane to me. Because they didn't break their silence to you, the customer. They broke their silence to their shareholders who were asking questions, seeing all the insane feedback online and people canceling their PSN accounts. That's who they answered back. They don't about you. They never cared about you. They care about how much money you give them. And every clown in every Twitter space talking about how great exclusives are or how bad PC gaming is or every other garbage fanboy that acts like all this is performative are the exact same people they're betting on to make sure that they buy their next generation console and their next set of games, no matter how much everything costs. Like a cult leading their own lambs to the slaughter. Actual idiocy in the gaming space. Anybody defending this corporation should be looked at twice and with a really big side eye as to whose side they're actually on. Are they on your side as a customer, or are they trying to defend the corporation? And that's going to open up a lot of people to a lot of scrutiny in this space right now and where things are going to be going. This company doesn't deserve your money, they don't deserve your support, and they certainly don't deserve your patronage. It's actually absurd, and personally, I really do hope the PS6 does in fact have its Wii U moment. It'll be exactly what PlayStation needs to finally bring their ass back down to earth. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I want to hear what you guys got to say about this in the comment section down below. Are you with PlayStation right now? Are you sticking with them for next generation? Or are you going to move to another platform and another company? Are you also still on no disc, no buy? I want to hear what you guys got to say. And speaking about what you got to say, here's the comment of the day from yesterday's video. With Oliver Adam 809 posting, "The greater the greed, the harder the fall." Oliver, my man, you are absolutely cooking. And right now it looks like every company is dealing with that massive amount of insane greed. But you know what? Like you said, they're going to get their fall. And I feel like PlayStation may get theirs pretty quick. Quicker than they might actually believe will be coming for them. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want to see more of this kind of content though, more PC port reviews, gaming news, Steam Deck videos, fanboy content, and live streams, subscribe to the channel. If you want Discord access or emotes during those live streams, become a YouTube member. It's as low as $1. Look, if you don't want to spend the buck, don't even sweat it, bro. Just come on down Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, live right here on this channel as I wear a banana suit and get insulted with text-to-speech by my viewers. Honestly, you don't want to miss it. Live Saturday nights, 8:45 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. Do you want even more of me though? Check out Oh No It's Alex Gaming. Link to that second channel is in the description down below. I stream there every single day, Monday to Friday, from 10:30 a.m. to around 2 p.m. and new videos go up on that channel every single Monday. Come on down, watch the content, hang out in the streams, and enjoy as I get you through your workday, playing games incredibly terribly, and also getting made fun of by my viewers in TTS, which includes you now too. I can't wait to see you there. Oh No It's Alex Gaming. Link to the channels in the description down below. With all that being said though, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you gooners next time. Peace!